Let's rock and roll.
Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sabba. I'm the CEO and co-founder of VEED. And obviously, with me here, I have the one, the only, the formidable Harry Dry. How are you, Harry?
I'm wonderful. I met Sabba about 7 years ago, in like a little office building in Brick Lane in London. And since then, he's built like a multi-million pound company. So it's really good to. I feel like I knew you at the start, Sabba, before the fame, the money, the riches.
Oh, same for you, Harry. Now, I mean, look at this. All these people know you here. So we have who we got here? Leah, we got Megan, Laura, Hola, Andrew, Paul. Oh my God, they're flooding in, Harry. They're flooding in. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. To be completely candid, I'm in my office right now. It's completely open. If there's some background noise, I'm sorry. But you know, I think let's get on with it. So go on, Harry.
I was going to say one thing is we've had video submissions, but there's still space. So if you want to get a video, an advert, a social media post reviewed by us, put it just literally link it in the comments. And once we've done like the ones we've got lined up, we'll get through to it. How it's going to work is Sabba's going to do. I think Sabba's like ridiculously good at understanding how to get attention, and he's going to do his little presentation. I'm going to share my like how I think about video and story, and then we're going to get onto the reviews. All right, Sabba, you want to go first?
I actually think you should go first, Harry. I mean, this is a lot of your community. They're here to see you. I think let's get on with it. Do you want to share your screen, and I'll stop sharing mine?
All right.
You might have to do the permissions.
Wow. Here we go. Okay, I'm hoping you can see Dave Trott now, Sabba. Can you just confirm that?
I can see Dave. Yes. Can everyone who's in the chat see Dave Trott too? We've got thumbs up. Look at that. Now we're working.
All right. So this is all slightly haphazard, but I think the content's good. I love Dave Trott. I think I've probably learned more about like understanding how humans work from him than anybody else. He wrote this a while ago. One of the first things I learned was to watch people flicking through the pages of Life magazine. Flick, 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 then to do it myself. Flick, flick, flick. What does it take to make me stop at a page? Today, the media is different, but the people are the same. And same in video, same in TikTok. If you've seen anyone go flick, 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 now it's just scroll, scroll, scroll. And how do you get attention? What I'm going to talk about mostly is the hook, which is like the first thing you say, your first 10 seconds on a video or even any kind of content. I think there's broadly two approaches to a hook in any kind of video content. One is to open a loop. So picture like Tobey Maguire, who is he? The woman wants to know, who is Spider-Man? And the other one is to make a promise. A promise is when I say promise, what I mean is try and visualize a handshake. So God, I'm all over the place. You'll see here the top video. You'll never guess who I snowboarded with. That's a open loop. We don't know who Casey Neistat snowboarded with. We want to know. The bottom video is a promise. Snowboarding with the NYPD. If I watch this video and Casey Neistat does not snowboard with the New York Police Department, I'm going to feel betrayed. Obviously he does, and the thumbnail proves that. So the bottom video is a promise, and the top one is an open loop. Now you kind of decide as a creator, like which one do you want to go for on any given video. And how I would often just work is which one's more interesting. Sometimes you want to take out the meat because the meat's not that good, but when the meat is really good, you just want to make a promise. So in this instance, the bottom video is what you should go with, snowboarding with the NYPD, because I want to see Casey snowboard with the NYPD. One more example. California floats shade bulls to battle drought. So that's a promise. That's what kind of actually happens. They floated these bulls in the California River or whatever it is to battle a drought. But that's not that interesting. So in this instance, you want to do the opposite. You want to open a loop up. Why are 96,000 black bulls on this reservoir? That's not a promise. I don't really know what I'm going to get, but I'm interested. There's a loop open. We'll start off by talking about like a promise, videos which make a promise. Mr. Beast starts every single video he does with a promise. I bought everything in a grocery store. That's a promise. If he doesn't buy everything in the grocery store, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to feel betrayed. So he starts the video by saying, hello, I'm in Germany and I'm going to buy everything in this grocery store. PPS Group. This guy runs Body Armor, a body armor company, and there's no need to bury the lead. CEO shot by Glock 17, and he does this to promote his body armor. There's no need to open a loop because you have something to work with in the first place. There's one, I think there's only one channel on YouTube which has 3 videos, which every single one has got more than 1 million views, and it's called Speed Showdown. Usain Bolt versus a cheetah, Kylian Mbappe versus Usain Bolt, and the average person versus Usain Bolt. And in each of these examples, once I click on the video, I more or less know what I'm going to get. I'm going to see a simulation of Usain Bolt versus a cheetah, Kylian Mbappe versus Usain Bolt, and an average person versus Usain Bolt. What these videos also do is they create intrigue. They open up a loop. I want to know who wins. Does Usain Bolt beat the cheetah? How much does he beat Kylian Mbappe by? Which brings me on to the second idea I want to talk about, which is how to open up a loop. This is more about withholding information, and a promise is more about like letting the lead talk. So I'm going to give you 3 ways I would typically approach this. Firstly is to place 2 things together that shouldn't go together. So what we're doing is we're creating juxtaposition. There's a great quote by Eugene Schwartz, I think, which all writing is just the search for juxtaposition. So the first one, 10 seconds that ended my 20-year marriage. That's not like a boring way of writing that. Might be 1 year that ended my 20-year marriage, but we want to condense a year down to a 10-second moment. How a lazy bitch like me learned to be productive. This article went viral on Hacker News. And once again, you have the juxtaposition between this woman who's a self-professed lazy bitch and her productivity. And we have a point A and a point Z. A being this person's lazy, and then Z, how did she become productive? This is one I wrote a while ago. From lying in bed with 0 ideas, once again, that is point A, to negotiating with the biggest superstar on planet Earth. And that's point Z. And then there's a huge space in between. And that is the loop which that's the space which the reader wants to click for. Another idea, this is actually what I talked about in the newsletter yesterday, is just do the opposite. So when you see every single bottled water company, and you see like a woman drinking Evian, a woman drinking Smart Water, and Zendaya drinking Smart Water, how can you create intrigue? How can you open up a loop? Well, what if a grandmother loves liquid death? It stands out. Another example of this, Smirnoff, a boring hook, make every night a party. Okay, how can we do the opposite? Instead of talking about nights, talk about mornings. Every morning is a Smirnoff morning. And that could be the first line in a video. That could be the first, that's a hook. Now, finally, I want to talk about like withholding information. I think storytelling is basically the art of withholding information. And I think what you often want to do with this is you have a product and you want to think, how can I fit my product into a story which someone cares about? So this is Mike and Rachel. They surprise each other with gifts on their wedding day. It's a top 6% of industry average on view rates. But this hook, Mike and Rachel surprise each other with gifts on their wedding day, is purely to, like, the gifts are these 2 astrology charts, and it's to promote a company called The Night Sky. So instead of just showing like your astrology chart as the product, how can I fit that into the customer's life, into a story? I'll give you a few more examples. The sweetest thing you could do is get your girl a Nomisk for period cramps. That's not a particularly great example because you've sold me to farm straight away. This is an advert. I'm not that interested. So what if we just delete the meat, delete the product from the hook? This is the sweetest thing you could do for your girl. Okay, and now I want to know what is this? What is the sweetest thing I could do for my girl? Delete the product. One more. This is an advert for an app on the iPhone called Cut the Rope, I think. And instead of saying, hey, here's Cut the Rope, same principle, how can we take the product and drop it into a real story? Went to Corfu together only for him to spend the whole trip doing this. And he's just playing Cut the Rope on his phone. What a bad boyfriend. But now I'm interested in Cut the Rope. God, it must be addictive. But you don't start with the product. In advertisements, it's more like you more likely want to do the opening in a loop rather than making a promise, because we don't care that much about these products. We have to get attention. My wife's boyfriend left these special chocolates for me. This is a good example of 80% and 20%. I think a good hook tells you like 80% of the story, but it leaves 20% for you to work out. Like, why? Firstly, why is his wife why has the wife got a boyfriend? What are these chocolates doing in the fridge? What are these chocolates? Instead of saying Tab's chocolate is an aphrodisiac. I'm going to end with 2 points which are more universal in like hooks and storytelling. You always want to try and raise the stakes in any content you do. A few examples of this. So this is, I think, a company called Hims, which sells Viagra, sildenafil, tadalafil, erectile dysfunction pills. And again, they don't start with the pills. They raise the stakes. So the hook here is confessions from a sexless marriage. And it's quite vulnerable. And like, I want to know what a real person has to say about like being in a marriage which is sexless because of erectile dysfunction. The stakes have been raised. It's a real person. Pat Walls has started this challenge recently where he is coding with AI tools until he makes $100,000, which is an awful lot of money, and he probably won't do it. But I'm interested because he probably won't do it. There's stakes to this challenge. He's taken a gamble. I feel like in content, you want to take a gamble. If you're reading this email, I fucked up, Harry Dry. Same principle, like what's happened here? The stakes have been raised. Why has Harry sent an email which didn't work out? It's more interesting than Matt's mixtape. There's stakes. You want to have, every story has stakes. A lot of you will probably have seen this. Hire Marta went incredibly viral on LinkedIn. Let me just find it quickly. And I think why this video went so well, I'll just play you the first 10 seconds, is she's being vulnerable. She's not saying like, I'm mad or I'm great. She's starting with like, I got laid off, which is something a lot of people would feel, you know, for whichever way, slightly insecure about. And obviously it's not a big deal. And she opens up. Finally, every story has stakes. You've got to raise them, but every story also has tension. And you have to like constantly be pushing and pulling on tension. There's a great piece of advice by the writers of, is it South Park? And they talk about how stories, between two stories, you want to be using the words but to change direction and so to progress a story, but not and. So I went to the shop and bought a burger. That's not a story. Or a better example would be the cat sat on the mat. It's not a story. The cat sat on the dog's mat. There's a but there. But what's going to happen? Okay, so I'll show you a few examples of this. I love you, but your beard's gross. And this was a commercial for, I'm guessing, a shaving company. And it's a story because of the change of direction. There's 1 million, this is a bad example, there's 1 million Muslims in New York looking for love. So there's no story there. How can we add tension? 1 million Muslims in New York and you're still single. The principle here is that and is actually a but in terms of how the story changes direction. 1 million Muslims in New York, but you're still single. This is the same line, just rewritten with tension. There's an Instagram page which sort of thrives off this principle. Yes, but, and that's how I often think about like writing. Yes, but you want to put imaginary buts and so's between your points and see how they connect. And if it all feels like and, there's no story, it's a shopping list. From Pizza Hut to six-figure developer in 9 months. I don't even know why this one's at the end. This is more about what we talked about earlier with an point A, Pizza Hut, and point Z, six-figure developer. And the space is why I want to click on this advert. That's all I've got. It's all slightly all over the place, but I hope there were some lessons there. I'm going to throw you back to Sabba, and then we're going to get on and audit these videos.
Amazing, Harry. You know a guy who made a channel similar to one of Pat Wall's, and it was like, I am going to post a video every day until I have a six-pack. And this is like an overweight guy. And literally in the space of 2 months, he went from 0 followers to 500,000. And now it's literally his full-time job. And he's an unconventional fitness influencer. So really love that format. It's super cool. Right. So let's see if this works. Can you see my screen, Harry? Is that my full screen?
Yeah, you got hooked in 3 seconds. I got you.
Awesome. So why listen to me? So I'm Sabba. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called VEED. We're the world's largest online video editing platform, and we're used by about 10 million people every single month to make videos. I also started a YouTube channel for the company where I'd make tutorial videos about how to use VEED. And over time, that has clocked up to about 80 million views. And across 2 channels, we have about 250,000 subscribers. So I come at this from a slightly different angle, maybe more as a business owner and someone who cares about the bottom line. So I think there's going to be some interesting difference in perspectives. Harry is the main course of this. So I thought I'd come with just 3 quick tips that we've kind of learned building content at VEED and kind of talking about the products that we have. So let's jump into them right now. The first one is hook them instantly. Harry opened his presentation talking about the hook. And I think the reason why that we're both basically saying the same thing is because if the hook's not there, people aren't going to watch your content. If they're not going to watch your content, there's no point working on, putting this much effort into it. The first 3 seconds are critical. So you've got to lead with something emotional, visual, or unexpected. And, when we think about, the tools that we build at VEED, we're often saying, here's how to add subtitles to a video. Here's how to add text to a video. These kind of like really boring and dry topics that are, not that interesting. But there's a different way to look at it. You could say, here's how to save 2 hours a day by doing this the easy way. All of a sudden, I'm so much more interested by laying out the value proposition in a slightly different way. And you can get good at this by literally just kind of writing down hooks when you hear a good one on another video and literally keeping them in your back pocket. And loads of hooks can literally be adjusted to your industry or the products or the things that you're kind of thinking about. So that's a really good tip that I like. The second one, when it comes to hooks, again, is I like to think the more hooks you have, the more fish you can catch. So a lot of people talk about the hook as this kind of singular thing that you might do at the start of the video, and then there's a payoff at the end of the video. And I think for a short video, that is definitely true. But what people don't often think about is actually when I'm trying to actually optimize for engagement over a long period of time, like a 10-minute video, I actually might want to have multiple hooks in a video and multiple payoffs. So you can start with your main hook, the thing that you catch people in, but on a minute in, you can actually have another small hook. And these payoffs can come off at different points in the video. And sometimes if the video is quite long, you might need to remind them what the hook is because they've got all confused about the original hook. So, we call this at VEED a hook sandwich. A hook sandwich is multiple hooks in a video put together to make a longer form piece of engagement content. And the final tip, and I think this is not just a tip for creating videos. This is a tip for landing pages and marketing in general. Even just verbal communication and storytelling. Like there is so much cognitive traffic jams that we have, and I think so many people don't keep things simple. Right? If you say too many things, people aren't going to remember nothing. So one clear message equals way higher retention. What is the one thing, the one message that you want to land in this piece of content and actually just drive that forward? Cut off anything else that you don't need and just focus on that. So with that said and done, I think we're going to get onto some roasting right now. Harry, are you up for a roast?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. So the first, go on, Harry.
I was going to say, best way to do this, are you going to bring them up on your screen or?
Yeah, I can do this. So this is the first one I have here. Tell me if you can hear the audio.
Can't hear the audio. Maybe is it muted?
No, definitely not. Let me try one more time. So I think you have to share the individual tabs to get audio.
Yeah.
Stick to what you know. Adrian Flux, we know van insurance.
Cool. What do you think, Harry?
Yes, I'm back, right? I just got kicked out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's a lot. Honestly, there's a lot wrong with this. Like, it is a.
This is a roast. I'm sorry. You full in, gloves off. Harry's Rise in the room.
Well, my problem with this setup is this whole video is not bespoke to van insurance. So this could be an Amazon delivery driver trying to boil a cup of tea. It could be Lionel Messi trying to boil a cup of tea. And then at the end, he says, stick to what you know. I don't really see the connection between, I know it's very well produced, but I don't see the connection between this man trying to boil a cup of coffee and van insurance. You've created a tension, you have, which I like. All right, this guy struggling to boil a cup of coffee, but it's irrelevant to the product. The thing I wrote in my newsletter today was like, you want to be provocative, but be sure your provocativeness stems from van insurance. So if I was you, I would try and brainstorm some conflicts which like are relevant to why your van insurance is better. So do we do it? So for example, if I was brainstorming a conflict for this, it would be like, our van insurance is this much money, theirs is this much money. Okay, that's a conflict. What's the idea? Or is there a time frame here? So you've got to start with the product. We do things 20 seconds. We do things 2 hours faster. They do things slower. Now let's turn that provocativeness into a video. I feel like you've just turned an irrelevant conflict into a video.
You know what I thought when I first saw it? I was like, this is a really well produced, nice looking video. It's really well shot. I think we both spoke about the hook, and there is no hook. There's this really happy looking guy. He starts cutting wood. What's he making? I'm thinking to myself. And he makes a chair. I don't know, like I'm gone. I'm already gone, right? So I think the message isn't there. Whoever submitted this, I think their name is Ryan. We'd love to know, Ryan, like what is the message that we're trying to do here? Like what are we trying to communicate? It's stick to what you know, van insurance. So is it a retention video? I don't know. So yeah, unfortunately this is a D- for me too, Harry, sadly.
If you've got a great business and you're putting it like you're in a good place, that's the positive spin is you've got a great business, you're allowed a few mishaps, and let's push on.
Oh no, 100%. I think I think the thing that I'm struggling with here is I can't tell you how to make this better because I don't quite know what the product even is. We know van insurance. Search Flux van. Let me have a quick search.
There's a quote in advertising, like this is really respectful, and I appreciate you being on the call. Nothing said well is still nothing. So when we start with we know van insurance, that is unfortunately nothing. And you need to like start with an actual point. You've got in a way, Adrian, or whoever made this, you've got the hard part right. You can make a bloody nice video, but you've just started with an awful idea.
Yeah, 100%. So just we're going down this a bit too deep, but this is what we're here for. So this is the product, right? Get van insurance from us, whether you're running our local business or using it for hobbies. It's just van insurance. So I think maybe the heart of the problem is like, we need a bit of a USP, right? Like, why is it this van insurance? Like, why should I go here? Is it because you're comparing the best deals across other sites? Is it because you have the best coverage? Is it because you ensure the content and the other people there? Like, what is your USP? Right. Moving on. What we have here is
All right. Yeah, we've got this one. We got quite a few to get through. my opinion here was you've started in the wrong place. What are you competing against? I don't think there's a hook here. Actually, Sabba, just go to the start. Go to the first 5 seconds. Watch the start. Get better at guitar. Pause there. Pause, sir. Pause. What is better at guitar? I think I would try and create real outcomes around what is better at guitar. Is better at guitar playing a concert for your grandparents at Christmas if you're a kid? Is better at guitar grade 1? Is better at guitar impressing the boy you have a crush on because you can now play guitar? Like I don't like better at guitar. Second point, what are you competing against? So what's this cards for guitar competing against? Well, it's competing against YouTube, books, having a teacher, or perhaps passive learning. Positioning 101, why you versus what are you competing against? So for example, let's say we've got now a teacher is what some people do to learn guitar. You're offering these cards. You're trying to learn, so a hook might be you're trying to learn guitar, but you can't afford a $50 lesson. You're trying to learn guitar, but you hate being stuck in a room for 2 hours with a teacher. You hate passive learning. Point of view, promising your mum you'll be able to play Silent Night by Christmas. Yeah, that's my opinion. I think I would start with what people do versus this, which is YouTube. If I'm learning guitar as a youngster, I'm probably going to go on YouTube. Why are these cards better than YouTube? And then try and build a hook out of that.
Yeah, I think that's really good feedback. I mean, I'm just going to give really tactical things. Like, very few videos need to be 1 minute long. I played that out of courtesy, but like I could have told you in the first 20. Again, it's like if the start's not right, you're not going to get there. I think that's the first thing. And what else?
Well, one more thing I would say is I've just dropped Pip Decks in the chat. It's a very similar product. Sabba, just play that video and compare the first 10 seconds of it. I would just honestly, it's a good video. I'd go for that. Can you find the chat?
Yeah, I have to unfortunately do these
in separate.
Yeah, one by one, and then it also
That's
kicks
right.
me out. I got it.
Okay. Well, if the creator of that is watching, and scroll down. Sorry, no. Oh, you have to go. Yeah, scroll down. The video is the second thing you see on this page. Just play. Yeah, play the first 10 seconds of this.
Hey gang, our big launch is next week.
But what about the big launch next week?
Listen up, I'm the boss.
I came this close to canceling this meeting.
I've even started the presentation.
Quitting my job.
I hate presentations.
Can I say our priority
And myself.
should be the big launch that's happening next week?
Oh my god, we're doomed. We need help. Help has arrived. How'd she come from? I was listening under the table. They're called Pip Decks.
Ooh, is this a magic trick?
No trick. Just all the business expertise you need and a deck of cards.
Pause it. That's enough.
Oh.
But
What did you just say?
They've done a better job of explaining the problem. I think you should start maybe with the problem. So like struggling to learn guitar from YouTube is a problem. Why? Because the advice is taught from people who maybe aren't experts. So also, what's your credibility? Like, why should I learn these cards from you? Why should I learn guitar from you? Next video.
I just want to caveat that, Harry, by saying the video that we just showed was like a $200,000 production.
It's a good point.
And what we're gonna show right now is actually a low production video. So I'm actually excited to see this one. The length is good. I can tell you that already.
Try this. To stand out on here, enter the frame from the left and exit to the right. Some frames can be tight, while some frames can be massively wide. Restricting your shots across your whole video to just this left to right thing will make it feel like you've really designed it.
Yeah, banging. Yeah, I think that was great. I thought that was really good. For me, you've just played really well with the framing. I don't know, the audio is good. It feels like accessible. It feels like production. I think it's a really like short tip that you've developed in 22 seconds. I think for sort of like amateur marketing, like you can build a big audience around this sort of stuff. I think it's great, really great.
I agree. I think it's really good. Again, what I would improve is you've said, here's a tip to stand out on here. I like the fact that you're really approachable as a person. Like you come across as a guy who's not gonna sell you a promise £1 million or whatever. However, stand out on here. I wonder if this could be like maybe this chap is a coach who coaches people how to make better videos, and you could say like I taught this tip to I don't know, Gordon Ramsay, and he used it. Let me, I think the hook, maybe let me tell you this tip. I talked to Gordon Ramsay, and he used it in this video, which got 100,000 views. Maybe as you're doing that, I would actually exhibit. So I would do the walking thing. So I would say, let me tell you this tip. I talked to Gordon Ramsay, and then you sit down on the bench, and then you leave on the right. Then you enter back in the stage, and you say, that's the tip. And then you explain the point about entering stage left and leaving stage right. I think that would be slightly meta, but it's very nicely done. Like I'm not even sure that would be better. It's a good
Harry's wrong. Chris, you're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, love to work with you sometime. Harry's not wrong. Harry's never wrong. Actually, that's one thing I have learned. Yeah. So here's great work. Honestly, really incredible. So here is a video that I almost don't have to show you, Harry. In fact, I might just show you the first frame, and you tell me if you want me to play it or not.
I don't.
Okay, fine. Let's just not even go there.
No, well, the thing with this is I feel strongly about this. I actually did watch this one before we started, and I was in a shop in Wimbledon the other day, and they had 4 posters and one of them was a picture of a woman who was offering lessons, and it was a real picture of her. The other one was an illustration of a tutor, and then the third one had no visual. If I'm going to get a tutoring lesson, would I want an illustration of this person who's going to be tutoring my hypothetical children, or would I want a real person? I think this kind of content of like basically not real people just contrasts this to Chris's video, where it's a real guy walking stage left to stage right, and now we have a doodle, which unfortunately is kind of getting slightly close to being a commodity with how like AI can generate art. I just think it's the wrong approach for a video these days. I think this content is, unfortunately on the way out.
I don't think it was ever in. I think that this content was popularized about 15 years ago when there was like almost like no podcasts, and it was like TED, and people had like great audio that they wanted to kind of like visualize and turn into videos. And all these services on Fiverr popped up that would basically have this hand just do this while an SVG was being animated in the background. Is there a world in which this kind of video should exist, do you think, Harry? And how it works, a corporate training video? Like, what do you think?
I'm personally bored by them, and I sometimes wonder, is that just me, or is that... But let's play the first 20 seconds, because actually it's not bad. It's not bad.
But how many of those precious minutes are spent just catching up? On average, a quarter of each session is spent piecing together a hazy recap of your week, trying to remember what happened, how you felt, or why you snapped on Thursday. Time spent remembering instead of healing. Empath gives that time and money back. Here's how it works.
All right. I feel like time and money is an outcome which is often banded around, and everyone wants time and everyone wants money, but I feel like you need to try and get slightly more, like, so many companies save time and money. I always think it's you have to be very good to use that as an outcome. If I was doing this, I'd exaggerate the pain more. So the pain here, we kind of missed the first 5 seconds, but it's about therapy. And the idea is that this product, it allows you to recap with your therapist, so you save money, and so your therapy sessions are better. Okay. How I might try and explain this is like, what's a way of agitating the pain? Well, how much I might start with, how much are you spending on therapy this year? If it's $100 a session and you go once a week, that's £5,200 you're spending on therapy. And all sessions start the same way. You talk to your therapist about your week. Why, like, and then you have a but like, why couldn't this be done in advance? And then you're saving 20 minutes a session. And in that 20 minutes you could do, I just feel like the voiceover was talking to me like I was a bit of an idiot, to be honest. And I don't think customers want to be talked to like they're a bit of an idiot.
That is true. I do want to give a alternative video that you could create, which I think would be way more powerful. Kieran, this is obviously a website landing page video that you created. I think you as a founder, sharing your message in a video with you just talking to the camera for 20 seconds about the product and why you did it is way more impactful. And if you can do that in a concise way in 30 seconds, I think you'll really hit it off. Right, moving on. We're either winding the clocks back 4 months or going ahead 8. Looks like it's Christmas, Harry. Let's go. That ended quite abruptly.
I'm guessing this was a Facebook ad with like a title or something, because obviously I don't know what the person's selling. Hard to critique that. I mean, I don't think there's like a really good idea there at all. I think maybe you've spent, just play one time. I think maybe you spent too much time designing the set and not thinking about like. It's an ad for the Christmas. I think that I'll give you one very specific point is human beings are interested by two things. Okay. People, they're interested by one thing, people. So this ad would be so much better if that jumper or whatever was just on a person and they were talking or having fun. Like, I think we find it very hard to engage with stuff which is like abstract or even like kind of objects without people. Just use people. Same principle with the previous video. It's illustrations, people. We are interested in people.
So I've just got the copy that was this is what the Gabby said. This is a video from a baby clothing company. They launched a Christmas collection. I want to do something different. Look, I think it's a nice bit of well-produced content, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's nicely shot. It's well lit. It's nice. It's just it's like stocking filler. Do you know what I mean? It's just like feed filler. Not sure if there's a massive message. Maybe this could be like a supporting GIF in an email. But what am I like? What? I really like this. First, someone said to me, it's like, whenever you make some content, you need to think about what is the desired reaction you want the audience to have. Is it like? Is it rage? Is it love? Is it, oh my God, I want that? I don't get that much emotion from seeing this.
I think Jeremy makes a good point in the comments as well. Like, it's too cluttered. Like, I honestly could barely make out the product.
I know it's Christmas. I know it's Christmas, which is important. And you're right, you can't really see the products. That is true. That is true. Look, I want to be mindful of time. I think me and Harry could roast for a while, but I want to get through as many as possible. So we're now going to go on to the next one, which is here.
Hey, is this a VEED competitor?
So this is a paid ad. Interested to hear how the show benefits the app into a 30. So this is one of those tools that takes a podcast, long form podcast, turns it into a short clips, I believe. And this is from Lyra, and this is a paid campaign. What do you think, Harry?
I think there's one thing it does well is it tries to tell a story of someone who's going to go to bed. Sorry, I'm guessing the guy wants to go to bed, but the woman's up editing podcast clips. I think that's not an awful start. I think where it goes wrong is like the payoff at the end.
No. He's already fallen asleep. Oh no! I love it.
I think it's not bad in like a lo-fi style. I think the payoff at the end is odd because this person's just on a beach. Like, wouldn't it make more sense if she was with the hypothetical father again, or like the guy with the moustache? That would bring the story full circle. I think it's slightly odd for her to enjoy every moment being like the resolution to a story, because that was irrelevant at the beginning. Not awful. I also kind of feel like there's not. Do I actually want to use Clipwing after this? I don't think. I mean, what was the actual bit which it says about Clipwing? It says it.
Clipwing.
Edits them quicker.
Oh, the H1.
That was what it was
Cut
called.
you. No, I'm not
Your
sure.
long videos. Cut your long videos into cool short clips. Like, I think found a solution is a bit too vague. I would try and like how much, like, get slightly more specific on the solution. I think this is kind of a lot of story, but the product gets a bit lost. That's all.
I'm going to be a bit fairer than Harry here. I think this is a paid ad that you've done, and what's great about it is it doesn't feel like a paid ad. So you've fooled me, and that's actually quite a good thing with paid ads, I believe. I think you've tried to done something creative, which is really cool. The message isn't really landing, but something's going on. I think you can remove this whole scene, to be honest. And yeah, the payoff isn't there. You're not saying what the product really does. It's just, yeah. As I do know a little bit about this stuff, at VEED, the thing that people always want is great quality videos, and they want them like quickly and as high quality as possible. That's a great value proposition. So I think as long as you can get that out, that's pretty positive. But I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I think you're onto the right thing. Keep going. Next is you know what I would say, final thing that I would say actually, while I'm just loading the next one up, is how are you different? There are like 50 products like this right now out there that you can choose. Obviously, we have this sort of thing within VEED. Like, why are you different? Why should I go to you? Do you specialize in podcast clipping? Do you specialize in clipping webinars? Like, that's more of a value proposition problem. But anyway, SuperTune has been very smart, Harry, and we like smart people, because what they've done is not actually made a video, but they've made a video of their landing page. So, but I thought for creativity, we're going to go with it anyway. Ready? 4 seconds of joy. Done.
What's it called? SuperTunes.
Yeah. Well, let's just do a quick page row. So transform your photos into stunning cartoons. This is obviously on the back of the hype with GPT-4o, image generation. Look, this is a transactional search, right? Ghibli image maker, cartoon image maker, Disney video maker.
One thing I change here is if you load up TinyHost, I'll put them in the comments. I think you should actually have a box where I can drag my my photograph
above the fold
on the homepage. So if anyone types TinyHost into Google right now, or even Airbnb, I think here you actually don't need a homepage. You should. It's such a simple product. You should basically have just one line and then a way I can take action. I had an example in my newsletter about Rose.com, and they used to have this big elaborate homepage. They stripped it all back, and it just was a spreadsheet which you could play with automatically. You should have a button which says upload file, just like TinyHost. And then on the left-hand side, you should have some social proof. On the right-hand side, you should say try for free. And I should be able to drag my picture in, and you should just remove the friction. I don't quite get, let me just show you one more time. Yeah, you could still have the visual change with a little arrow, but you don't need much of the rest of it. I simply add your videos, choose one of the viral styles. Instead of saying, let our eye do the magic and choose one of the viral styles, just let me use it. And then, of course, if there's a paid part, I get paywalled after 1 or 2 pictures. Sometimes the best homepage is no homepage. Just let me use this product. Next up.
Nothing to add. So next we are going for a LinkedIn video. Oh, not retweet. Sorry, discard. My bad. Watch again.
Over 300,000 people for ideas. Things get busy fast. You need a smarter way to handle them. Employees submit ideas in seconds, duplicates are flagged, and the best rise to the top fast. No chaos, no wasted time. Every idea linked to real outcomes, forecast time saved and money saved. Without a system, emails pile up. With Sideways 6, ideas are clear, tracked, and working for you.
I think that was made in VEED. I might be wrong. Which means it's a great video, right? First of all. Let's have another go. Harry, any thoughts?
Can you scroll up to the top so we can actually read what they've written as well? 582 more employees delivered. We may or may not have built something very specific for one of the world's biggest banks. Let's just say if your name rhymes with Hey Bay Shogun, there's a fully branded bespoke demo environment ready and waiting, designed to reflect your structure. Jamie Diamond, since you asked your teams to have a little fun thinking about the stupid stuff we do, we took it to heart. Inspired by your words, we built a live example. I think there's it looks like what's happened here is this is like a permissionless product they built to try and win a client, to try and win a big bank. Have I got that right? 34 seconds to watch, 13.7 million views on the other side. I think that is a really great idea. And there's a great, what was that video the CEO of Patreon did? But you've titled it completely wrong. So let me find this. CEO of Patreon for Casey Neistat.
Ideas. Things get busy fast. You need a smarter way to handle them. Employees submit ideas in seconds, duplicates are flagged, and the best.
So what I would title this is, I think if I've got that right, this is like a pitch for a business. And you've basically, I'm hoping I've got that right. If I was you, I would call it Dear Jamie Dimon, or whoever the CEO of this bank is, from the CEO of, what's this company called? Sideways 6. And but the video completely, like, being honest, it's a cluttered, horrible video. It's really hard. I think the idea is good, but for me, it's just been lost in this, like, I just don't know what's going on there. I'm really confused, and I feel like sometimes I'm not giving you any useful stuff here, but sometimes I think an intuitive response is all you need to this kind of thing. I think this could have been improved if you showed it to, like, you know, a husband, a wife, or whoever, and just do you get this? Because I don't get the video at all.
Yeah.
I would have done Dear CEO of Bank from the CEO of, so Dear, you know, Harry Dry from the CEO of Sideways 6. And that would be the pitch. And that's also good because there's stakes there. It's a risk. You know, we've made this product and we're risking it all to try and get to this, you know, to try and get our product in your hands.
You know, I think something that I often see that's missing, and I don't want to toot my own horn here at all, but we have done a video on our careers page about the story of VEED. And it's simply just me vulnerably talking to the camera in a way that I've kind of designed it to be, I don't know, just like quite concise. I think I'll just play the first bit.
Hey everybody, my name is Sabba. I'm CEO and one of the co-founders here at VEED, and I wanted to make a video and just tell you a bit about our history.
Sometimes just like that honesty and just like without all the stock and stuff like that, you just talking to the camera can also be like so engaging. So just like simple videos, honestly, simple videos.
So I'll tell you one something, Seb, but the reason why people do not like to do that is because it's a vulnerability to load up a camera and put you in front of it. No one wants to do that, and that's why it works. But if the person doing this product just put the camera down and explained it in like normal language, I think it would have resonated more. You can hide a lot behind newspaper cuttings, behind editing. I feel like editing, fast edits are such a con. Like if you have a bloody idea, just talk about it in front of a camera. Like
yeah. And the guitar,
like that Marta video, she's not like, you can see who the woman is.
Also that guitar, remember the guitar video? That person, the founder of that company with a guitar saying, I'm going to tell you how to get 5 times better at guitar in the next 10 seconds. That's a hook. The founder talking to the camera with a guitar, what we're getting. Right, we're over time, but I think we're just going to keep running, Harry. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
I think there's been a few in the chat as well. I'm not sure how many.
My team are putting them into a spreadsheet. They're tagging them. They're sorting them.
Kids are spending an average of 7 hours. Apparently today, kids are spending an average of 7 hours a day on screens. So let me ask you this. If you change nothing now, where will your kids be in 5 years, in 10 years? As a mother of 5, this question petrified me. And I realized that if I don't take back control of the influence on my children's life, then social media will do it for me. If I don't give my kids the guidance, the boundaries, and the life skills that they need, then the Kardashians are going to give them their values. And that every day as my children grow, the world is shaping them more than I am. But that's not the kind of mom I want to be. I don't just want to be a glorified babysitter who puts food on the table and a shelter over their head. I want to give them guidance and direction to lead a life.
What do you reckon, Harry?
Well, 3 things. I'm ready to buy this product, whoever's made it, without without knowing what the product is. I feel like if you can articulate my pain better than the competitor, I will choose
Let's talk about
you.
why I left.
And there's 2 more things. There's a great statistic to start with, like the 7 hours a day. And finally, I think everyone in the chat like laughed at the Kardashians thing. And I think it's a great example of zooming in on an idea. So the bad way of writing that would be, if I'm not going to, help out my kids, the internet will control their thoughts. But the internet is big and it's brown. You always want to zoom in on these words. So saying the Kardashians is way more visual. And I think it's such a great line. I think it's a really brilliant video and does like a lot right.
First of all, I think like Hyde Fam is obviously exceptionally good at what they do, to be completely honest. 100,000 subscribers, talking in a really interesting niche. I think
talk about apparently
you're
today
doing something right. I think the problem that you're talking about resonates with parents a lot too. We only saw, I think the only question that I'd have here is like, what is the desired outcome of this video? Is this meant to be on a homepage? Should this be something that you search? Should this be on the right-hand side that you click on? And I think just understanding more of that context would help me give a bit more feedback, but like, you're clearly smashing it and need absolutely, no
There's
help.
there's one thing which like the guitar video didn't do, for example, is she says she's a mother of 5 or a family of 5 at least. And like, I think these little touches do make a difference. So if you, even in the guitar video, you say like, I've been playing guitar for 20 years and like I struggled, and then you take like through the journey, it'd just be more interesting than just some cards. Next up, Sabba.
Harry, I'm going as quickly as I can. There's a lot of tab switching and spreadsheet going on back here, my friend. This is not for the faint-hearted. 1 second. Copy link.
Want to say thanks all so much for coming while Sabba's prepping up the video. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Having multiple.
Refresh that. Ready?
You're too much about what your yard looks like. Look, I get it. Having multiple guys for mowing, lawn care, irrigation, and gardening can be extremely overwhelming. So based on this experience, we've created 3 simple packages, completely personalized and solely based on your needs. Maintaining your yard in top shape shouldn't feel like a full-time job. And that's where we come in. We're Elevate Outdoor, and if you want to hear more, just take a look at some of the reviews from our clients. And
there's a bit more there, but I think we get the idea. I would start by saying this is obviously a local video made for a specific kind of area. I would remind that to the user that you are in, we are London, based in London. We operate in this area. Like, that doesn't come in. I think sometimes that could put people off. I think the person talking to the camera is great. The subtitles are great. I think it's actually quite engaging. I think maybe a few more revs to just try and tighten up your video and maybe get a bit more snappy of your speaking and your engagement. But I think this is the start of something really good again, to be honest. Harry,
can you just play the start one more time, just the first 5 seconds.
You're stressing way too much about what your yard looks like. Look, I get it.
You're stressing way too much about what your yard looks like.
Well, I'm a little bit confused by that because this is a gardening company, right?
It's like a yard care. It does your lawn, makes your grass greener.
You're stressing.
Picks up your leaves.
I don't think it's a good line, the first line. You're stressing way too much about what your yard looks like. Like, I don't really see. I don't know. I just think it's not a good start.
So first of all, you are not from Midwest America, Harry Dry. Like, some people generally do stress about what their yard looks like because they want it to look like it says something about them, their family, and what their values, right?
Okay. I think there's a few like little subtle changes. You mentioned 3 packages in the video. So you've mentioned we have 3 packages, but you never tell me what they are. So I think don't mention the packages unless you go into them. If you do mention them, just keep them simple. Like, secondly, there's one point where you say it's completely personalized. I think it's like elevates your needs. I think when you talk about elevating my needs, is that what it was? No, completely personalized and solely based on your needs, maintaining your yards. I feel like I think you're slightly going through the motions with the script. If I was being honest, I think it's almost what like a GPT would put out, some of this stuff. Like, I would try and make it slightly funner. Like, for example, could you pick a specific customer, pick a tree or a yard, and then show me a before and after, and just like, here's what we did for Jenny, who does this, and here's her yard before, here's her yard after, and then now you're sipping lemonade together, and you've got the real customer, and she's made you a glass of lemonade because you're from Midwest America and everyone's really friendly, and you're cheersing with lemonade. Like, I just feel like it lacks a bit of creativity. It's not a bad video by any stretch. I would try and have more fun with it. like I remember my dad once did a video where he presents in front of school children, and like, how do you make a fun ad when you're presenting in front of school children? On the way out of his session, he just had a camera, and all these kids are pouring out the session, and they're all thanking him, and it looks really fresh and fun, and he's like high-fiving the kids, and it's like, how do you get that reaction from a bunch of school children? And I guess think, yeah, like how could you make this feel slightly realer and funner would be my slightly horrible advice. It's very hard to do, that's why it's bad advice.
I'd zoom out for a minute here, and a story that really stuck with me is the 0800 got junk story, and the guy literally parked his junk truck on like the side of the motorway, and that was his advertisement. He'd sit in it until someone called it. And when you think about how you want to upsell or sell your products, video might not always be the best way to connect with a local community as well, right? So I think if you think more broadly about different types of marketing, video for local, it obviously can work, right? But I don't know. I think it's just like maybe also think broader about how you connect with your local audience.
Laura, just one more, Laura. Like, you have the reviews. So if I was you, as a hook, I think it lacks a bit of a hook. You could pull a line out of reviews. Here's why Jenny from Arkansas said this is the best lawn care company she's ever had, or whatever. Also, I feel like in terms of a USP, I would think, why you guys? So you've got many options. You could how about you say, look, at Elevate Outdoor, we make you 2 promises. And now we're talking in terms of promises. We make you 2 promises. We'll show up on time. We'll work harder than I don't know. You have to come up with the promises, but like deal in promises and not outcomes, like better, like slightly more fluffy things. How can you turn this product into like, we always answer the phone. We arrive, like, give me facts. We always answer the phone. We arrive on time, and we are like as friendly as some kind of simile, perhaps something like that. Next, good luck.
Solid feedback. Very good, Harry. Cool. Moving on.
The sounds of not cleaning. It's me.
Honestly, I think that's really creative. It took me a while to get it, but once I think maybe you just work on like making it obvious at the beginning. But once I got it, I felt it was a really good line. The sounds of not cleaning, or it could be like, what not cleaning sounds like, and it's just having a wonderful time. The one thing I think I missed a bit was like relating it back to chirp cleaning. But yeah, my intuitive reaction was like a genuine laugh. I think it's a very fun hook. What like the sounds of not cleaning. It's good.
Agreed. I think that's a really good video to like re-engage someone. So like, imagine you've been on your website and then this is like an ad. Like that would get me. I thought it was very good. Very good.
The only other thing I might do here is like, if I was going to make this longer, let's say, I don't know, it's like a man and a woman, or just any married couple, and they're having a date, and it's all slightly slower. And, the woman could almost say, the idea here would be that these two have not been on a date in so long because of how stressful life's been with kids, with cleaning, et cetera, and they're almost reflecting on this date, and just pick one moment, and it's like two people opposite each other who are very much in love, but just their love has wavered slightly because of they've always been cleaning their, they've been so busy, and then it's almost like, what's more important, this kind of connection with somebody or scrubbing a sink? I don't know. It's a good idea.
Harry, this video is titled May 1st, 2025. What do you think about the title? Like, when should someone engage in this video? What kind of, where does this content live?
I think it's I think it's a good video, but it's like awfully packaged. Like, I don't see this as a YouTube short at all. Maybe this was uploaded because of the session today, or I'm not quite sure, but like the packaging is not there. This is an advert for me. It's not it's almost like it's an ad. Or if you're going to make it on TikTok, I think it kind of has to be, I think you have to add some stakes or some tension. So I feel like attention is a relationship falling apart because two people are always busy with babies, with cleaning a house. I saw this as an ad. I think as an ad, it's got legs, but not as a YouTube short.
All right. Chirp, chirp. You got a subscriber from me. Like it. Keep it coming.
Oh, Robin, for me. Yeah. Next up.
Next up. With 3 minutes, we're probably not going to do the whole thing, but we'll do the first 30 seconds.
Oh, this.
My name is Bashali, and we're going to be talking about 3 things in today's video. Number 1, what is rich storytelling? Number 2, who am I? Number 3, does it work? But first, I'm going to give you an example. The year is 2019. I'm standing in my bedroom closet, and I'm looking for a pair of clean underwear. I go through all my drawers, but after searching and searching and searching, I can't find a single pair of clean underwear, and I can't even find a clean bra. I look over towards my dirty laundry pile, and I think to myself, should I? But I decide against it. I'm going to this all-women's event, and this is my first chance at making friends after graduating college. I want to make a good first impression on these women, and I don't want to smell like dirty underwear. While I'm standing in my bedroom closet, I make a decision. I decide that I'm going to find an outfit that doesn't require underwear. I settle on a pair of black leggings and a loose-fitting blouse. Before heading out the door, I look at myself in the mirror and I think to myself, I look pretty cute today. Nobody's going to know I'm not wearing any underwear. I walk over to the event and the host greets me at the door. She leads me to a dinner table, and there are around 9 women around this dinner table. We all share a meal, and after dinner is over, the host says to us, everybody, please make your way to the living room. We're going to be doing an activity. Now, I'm not going to tell you what this activity was.
I want to be mindful of time here because we've got more to get through, but like, we've got a pro on our hands over here. Like, I wanted to keep this thing and get to the end of the story. Like, the storytelling was very, very good. I'm going to book my workshop, genuinely. Harry, go on.
Agreed. It was good, really good. And I would have kept playing. That's the best compliment.
Yeah, same. I would have kept playing.
So I think you've done 2 things just bloody smart, which people don't do. When you're presenting, please do not give me a shopping list of add structure. So originally you said, well, I'm going to tell you 3 things, dun, 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 and then you went into a story. If you add structure to any presentation, you say, here's, like, if you're doing an audit for a business, you say, look, this is the past. This is what we're going to do today to solve it. And then here's 5 years in the future. Or you say, why, what is RAMP? Why do we exist? And here's your first, and this is what your first 30 days will look like with the product. Give me structure. Structure is so unbelievably underrated. Second thing on this story, James Clear has a great line. Half the words, double the examples. Bringing in an example after the setup it's a story. You said, I'm going to give you an example, and it's proof that you're good at what you do. I think you are basically, I'm assuming this is a storytelling company, and you're showing us that you're great by telling a real story, as opposed to, like, there's nothing much more believable than knowing this woman is a great storyteller. And finally, storytelling is the art of withholding information. We mentioned it earlier in the session, and like, there's definitely some kind of punchline. There's some kind of information which we have not been told yet. How does this resolve? We want to know. It's a great example of like how to tell a story. And finally, there's stakes. There's stakes to a good story, like the dirty underwear. Meeting new people for the first time with dirty underwear is stakes. Well done.
I'm genuinely going to book a workshop with you. Genuinely. I think I was like, what's that in your hand? Right. And then I see your background. The only thing feedback, but then above me, I see like Meta, LinkedIn, Etsy, Twitter, and I see these kind of like blue chip tech companies. And I'm thinking to myself, there is a little bit of a juxtaposition here between like your presentation, your background removal, but your hand, like, if you want to go up market a bit, maybe the story's good. The presentation maybe could be a little bit more professional if you want to get more, I suppose, like corporate clients in. But like, I got nothing to complain about. You guys, you've absolutely smashed it. Right. So any more coming in? I think we're on our last 2 now. So if you've got anyone want to get something roast, get it into the chat. Let's get going here.
I know we got Mariana's at some point. I'll probably be one of the 2. I can just see it up there.
This one.
Kaylee and Mariana, I can see.
Like a
Okay.
Diary entry, we have a problem. Your audience does not care about your life story. They care about how it relates to them. I used to write posts like, I started my business in 2019 because I was so passionate about marketing. And guess what? Nobody engaged, nobody DM me, because nobody wakes up thinking about my business. They wake up thinking about their struggles, their problems, and how to fix them. When I flipped the script and made my content about them, everything changed. Instead of, I started my business, I said, here's why your content isn't converted. And suddenly I had their attention. And that's the difference between content that converts and content that flops. If you're treating content like a diary entry, we have a problem.
What do you think, Harry?
I like the push and the pull to it. I like the fact that you kind of assuming it's a problem and then a solution, but it's actually not. It's a problem and then it doesn't resolve because this woman says that she doesn't get the big breakthrough. And I thought that kept me engaged. But I'm assuming, like, would I, can you click on the page, Dear Small Brands? Like, I'm assuming this is some kind of content agency here, or what actually is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reshare my tab to tell you.
That's all right. So go back. So I've seen it. It's a brand strategy. Like, what I think you're missing here is very simply just proof of clients who have used your work well. I want you to say, if you go on Ali Abdal's website, ptya.com, Part-Time YouTube Academy, he's got this wonderful graph where, like, it's a YouTube growth graph. And then say someone takes Part-Time YouTube Academy at May 2018, and it says taking it there. And then you see the subscriber count and the graph just slowly but surely tick up. And it takes them from 1 million, or often from 20,000, 2,000 to 1.2 million. You're just, and obviously I'm not sure you've got clients at 1.2 million. Not many people have, but like, you're missing that transformation of, like, yeah, I'm interested in your work, but have you taken like the one I used in my presentation was from Pizza Hut developer, from Pizza Hut to 6-figure salary in 6 months. Like, I feel like you need examples of clients, to be honest, for me to really believe you.
Awesome. So I think we're going to jump on to our last one.
That last video, I think you're doing good work. I like what I saw.
Yeah. I think I appreciate someone who's, like, not just using stock and a robotic voice to make a video. I appreciate someone who, like, thinks about a story, takes their phone out, sets it up, records it, edits it, like that. Yeah. Honestly, you're already in the top 1% by doing that.
You are. I just think you need an outcome. Like, where are you now? Like, how many clients have you got working with you now? Even if it's small and humble, like, you can celebrate the first bloody client like it's nothing else. It sounds like you're doing much better than that. But it had point A, but it lacked point Z, in my opinion.
All right. So this is the last one. Before I press play, well lit, well framed. It looks good already. All right. So I'm excited.
In the world, but the good news is you don't.
I'm just going to refresh it so we can get the start again.
Unique business ideas left in the world, but the good news is you don't need to have a unique business idea. You just need to have a good story. Think about a brand you really love. Why do you shop from them as opposed to all the other brands out there that sell the same product? Maybe you really like the founder. Maybe you love the brand colors. You like their logo. You like the packaging. You love the customer service. All of these things tie back to storytelling. That brand has probably done a lot of work behind the scenes to think about how they can make you feel that emotional connection with them. I truly believe that you can sell anything as long as there's a good story behind it. However, a good story cannot fix everything. So I've written about why I think story market fit is more important than product market fit if you're starting a business. The article talks about the steps that you should follow to find story market fit, but more importantly, how to measure whether you have found story market fit. So go to my Substack, The Business of Storytelling, and the link in my bio to read more about this article. There aren't many unique business ideas left in the world, but the good news is you don't need to have a unique business idea.
I think, for me, I think you've buried the lead here. Like, the start, unfortunately, you don't need to have a unique, I think in writing, you never want to say a sentence which has been written 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times. You do not need to have a unique business idea, sadly, has been said 1,000,000 times before. Where I found it interesting is when you started talking about story market fit. Obviously, you've coined the term, which I think is very bright. I know of product market fit, and I'm kind of interested in like this idea of story market fit. Like there's a tension between the two words. I would have started there. Like, you want to know product market fit? Well, I'm going to tell you about something I invented, story market fit, and why I think it's more impactful. And then give me examples. Boom, boom, boom. Half the words, double the examples. If you're building these brands with
There aren't many unique
examples from your real work, put yourself into your work. Do not give me. Unfortunately, I thought this had a lot of legs. Unfortunately, I think the first 30 seconds was something ChatGPT could have written in terms of setting up the problem and whatnot. You want to write anything, you want to write stuff which no one else can, which is the story market fit idea, and then start giving me, like, if you read the marketing examples, it's all examples. There's not much of me talking. I give very little opinion. I just let the work do the talking. I let the graphs do the talking. That's what I would change.
All right. Well, I think we're roasted. Nothing left to roast, Harry. Actually, sorry, go on.
No, go on. Is there one more?
Yeah, one. Just go on. Finish on the last one there, Harry.
No, I'm going to end with something else. I guess keep going. If you have time for one more, parity, go. I will say, because Sabba's going to be probably too modest to say it, but and this is not, we've been friends for a while. VEED is genuinely a really bloody good, I use it for all my subtitling, and it's it's really clean and really easy and pretty cheap. And I know this isn't a big sales pitch at all. Like, I just thought I'd mention it because I don't think Sabba would. He's built and the team have built a really good product.
That's very kind of you, Hannah. It's going to make me feel awful to what I'm about to do now, though.
The big VEED says, is this me? Bloody hell.
This is you, Harry Dry.
Yeah, hold on, we've got one more from. Have you got?
I actually don't think we do have one more. Do we have one more?
So Parity Go is just submitted. If you have time for
okay, where is it? Is it in the chat? Ariana, help me.
Sorry, it's just up. It's 5:13. It's in the chat.
It's Alex. I got it. Thank you. And also thank you to the hosts at VEED for getting all the submissions and the chat piped into a spreadsheet and whatnot. You guys are amazing. Okay, here we go. Okay.
With all of the advancements in tech, it's hard to believe that energy is still wasted by heating, cooling, and ventilation systems in large multifamily residential buildings and hotels, costing both you and the environment. But what if I told you that you can increase your building's energy efficiency and generate revenue from your utility provider, all while decreasing your building's CO2 emissions and saving 5 or 6 figures per year in energy costs? It's possible with Parity, an HVAC optimization as a service company that remotely optimizes your HVAC systems in real time.
What do you reckon, Harry?
Why do you make me be the fool guy? Why do you let me stand?
Look, I think. Look, I'm going to be completely honest. Okay, let me just jump in here. Rich storytelling. I didn't want to press stop. In fact, I stopped at 1 minute 30, and I could have kept going to the end of the 3 minute 35 video. I genuinely could have gone that long. With this one, I was just doing it out of courtesy, to be completely honest. I would have stopped in the first 5 seconds. Why?
Yeah, go
on. No, Harry, no, honestly. No, I can't. You're right. You wanted me to be the full guy? I've fallen. Please, be constructive for me.
Look, the great news is if this business is doing well, you're only going to do better when you remake this video. It's a genuinely very poor video. It's in an AI voice, which I can't tell if it's a human or if it's an AI. I hate the voice of this video.
But it's not even a good AI voice. Like, some AI voice is quite good. This isn't even a good one.
I can parody the whole thing in an American accent. Like, just play me 5 seconds. It just feels like it's cliche after cliche after cliche. It's what we've talked about a lot in this session is like, do not give me this sort of new art style of like illustrations, which are so intangible. Imagine like a good test for a video is like, if you posted this on LinkedIn, what would happen? It would get 0 to 1 likes. Like, if you take the founder and they explain what the product does and you use real customers in your video, it would do a lot better. Just give me 5 seconds so I can actually give something more concrete on this, because there was a structure of like the problem and the solution which wasn't awful. It did make sense.
With all of the advancements in tech, it's hard to believe that energy is still wasted by heating, cooling, and ventilation systems in large multifamily residential buildings and hotels, costing both you and the environment. But what if I told you that
I think we might have been a bit unfair, Harry. Like there is something going on there. I think I'm 20 seconds in, but I think you could have done it in 5 seconds. You could have got that far in 5 seconds. Like, did you know that 80% of energy is wasted in residential buildings? We've built a solution to, you know what I mean? Like, I like the stat idea. Like, there's something there.
Agreed. I think we were more put off by the presentation of it all. Just one more point. When you say like all the advancements in tech, you want to avoid phrases which are catch-all. Like instead saying, zoom down on that word and talk to me about a new like the new ventilator or whatever. Like you want to avoid these kind of slightly hackneyed expressions. With all the advancements in tech, things have changed. It's just, you've sort of seen it before. We were harsh. Good luck with parity. Yeah.
Also, final thing is, this is actually a pretty serious company, right? They've got, I think, 50 employees. They've got, it looks like a Series B of $19 million. That might be Canadian, US, who knows, but it's still good. I would, if you are got serious, and this is one of these companies that doesn't need that much traffic, right? If you have only a few people come to your website, whenever they click pause, they shouldn't see, what's this video, and leave, right? Like, I would use a web hosting tool like Wistia to have that video in there when no one can actually jump to anything else. The only call to action on this page should be book a meeting with a sales rep. In fact, is that it? You need it up here. Cool. Speak to sales. Speak to a consultant, right? Oh, look, this is overview video. Hang on, let's go to the homepage. Harry, what do you think? Help me out.
Remote
I don't know what it
page-
is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
There's one thing every homepage needs, and that's social proof. So above the fold, you want to have social proof above the fold. And like these terms, I'm sure would resonate with your customer. So I don't think it's a huge problem, but I don't know what HVAC micromanagement is. Hold on, just stay.
There you go. That's the team. That's better. Let's optimize your HV system. That's nice.
Save 5 to 6 in utility costs. Stay on that page for a second. Earn thousands in demand response revenue. So instead of saying earn thousands in demand response revenue, you want to turn a matter of opinion into a matter of fact. So I would say, like in 2024, or the average HVAC saves £1,642 a year. Reduce CO2 emissions and carbon fines. Like that's again that's opinion. Reduce. Replace adjectives like reduce or verbs with facts, with numbers. Save 5 to 6 figures in utility costs guaranteed. I would just say what the average is. Like, you know, you instead of saying save 5 to 6 figures guaranteed, it's still that could be 10,000, it could be 999,000. With a contact information, I would add a face here, and I would have a little green circle showing that person is active. And then underneath the phone number, I would say we answer. Like I actually have this example on my site. I would say 5 to 9. And the times you will answer the phone. I think a big objection to calling places is you feel like you're not going to get through. And instead of contact at Parity Go, I might also add like Harry at Parity Go, or like, and then the bio of that person or whatnot. I feel like I don't really want to email contact at Parity Go. It just feels like I want to know that I get a reply to this in 24 hours. One line I would have like this: "We reply within 24 hours." Just confirming. Scroll down slightly more, just see if there's anything else.
Footer.
I'd like to see the product, or what the product does. I'd like to see it before and after. I'm still a bit confused about what HVAC is. So like, is there a way of showing me a like a room with HVAC and a room without HVAC? I'm sure it sounds like you've got a great product. I'd work with someone.
I like that, Harry. It's like photo of you, you know, #1 marketing newsletter, like, hi, I'm Harry. I think I think you got some really good points there. We've actually got one more, Harry, coming in hot.
Great job on the HVAC though. Like, it's a great product. That's the, you know, you're onto something good. I'd work on the homepage. Anti.
All right.
With music.
All right.
Mine was an AI voice.
I love how the person's like, it wasn't an AI voice. This is just how I sound.
You see this?
Hi, Sharks. I've been in business for 13 months.
That's all?
And I've done $3.2 million in sales.
What? Wow.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh. Meet my clients, the fidget game from zero to hero on Shopify, crossing 3.2 million and catching the big fish in Shark Tank. And yeah, we did that. So let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Anti, the no BS get stuff done wizard behind these success stories. Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, that's my playground. Want in? I'm talking eye-catching, scroll-stopping, revenue-popping ads that not just tell your story, but sell it. If you are pouring $2,000 a month into your ads and still watching the paint dry on your sales dashboard, or if you are ready to scale but can't find the ladder, listen up. I craft campaigns that don't just run, they soar. Commerce isn't just a business, it's a war. And I'm enlisting only 5 businesses for this.
I think it was really good. I think the start was a little bit rocky, but like something's there for sure.
I thought that the start was really good. I felt like you showing your client who has been on Shark Tank or whatever is way more. It's proof that you know your stuff, and also it's way more interesting, respectfully, than like you in your bedroom. So I felt like originally I'm interested because this woman's on Shark Tank. Also, we said like all right in a search for juxtaposition. So even with this clip, they say like, you know, I've been in business 13 months and I've done 3.2 million in sales. There's a wonderful juxtaposition there. Once you get to your bedroom, I think or wherever you're filming, I think it unravels slightly. Like I think the production, I normally don't think it matters too much, but I don't think the production of the video for me looks great. Like I would assume the woman on the Shark Tank show is working with, you know, someone who can light their shot slightly better. But you list off stuff like scroll scropping and revenue popping, and like these words are sort of they're what we use when we don't have anything to say. We use these like fluffy jargon when we replace all of these cliches with examples from your clients or promises. So like what do you or specifics, to be brutally honest. I would rewrite your whole script and I would highlight every single, I would even ask ChatGPT to do this. Like I would highlight every single time, when can I get more specific? You need to get more specific in your pitch, in my opinion.
I just really, really finicky on editing. This is where you show the person, your client.
This?
Hi, Sharks. I've been in business for 13 months.
That's all?
And I've done $3.2 million in sales.
What? Wow.
That's all you needed. This bit is completely useless, right? Like that's the hook. And then when you have see this, like also, come on, let's see your face. Do you know what I mean? Like your framing here is way off. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to kind of get into the frame of it. I think to Harry's point, I think you've got a good hook. You've got a good start here, but you don't need to do a 1.5 minute video unless you're a phenomenal storyteller. P.S. Definitely book in with, this incredible storyteller earlier, rich storyteller. She'll definitely help you out. But like, you know, if not, I think wrap it up and deliver your value properly. You're done.
Or tell me, or you said this is your client, okay? What have you done for this woman that's helped build her to the level she's at?
Ads. Yeah. But it's like Google ads, but how do you do it? By telling her story, getting her out there.
Show me the damn dashboard of her. Like, this is my client, and here's her Facebook ad dashboard. Ask for her permission. This is my client. This is her Facebook ad. We spent this much money with her in March, and we've made this much money in March. You want to be telling me things I can't get anywhere else. And like revenue popping, scroll stopping is just like, honestly, 50% of the guys on Instagram who are trying to start agencies. I can get that anywhere. I could start a business today and talk about revenue popping and scroll stopping, but I couldn't show that woman's Facebook ad dashboard or an email she wrote you thanking for your work. Show me stuff I can't get somewhere
Testimonial would be lovely. Like, and then you've been like, imagine the video, like, you know, you show her on Shark Tank and then like, and we work together doing her ads, that helped her convert to build her business, and then you get her on a Zoom call and it's just like, you know, whatever your name is, Harry, help me, he's the best person I've worked with.
Even better. So you end with meet my client, all right? Then I'd have a quick take, and it would be her doing a FaceTime, just saying thanks, whatever, I'm not sure what your name is, thanks Johnny, you're the best, or something like that. Edit it like that, boom, boom. Instead of it's you for the next little bit of time. I would try and bring her back in. She's so important to how
she's great.
The video is.
She made the video great. And then also add a little bit of like scarcity at the end, like we're only taking on 2 more clients, you know, drop me an email to be considered for one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, make it a bit scarce as well. Sometimes accents need to slow neutral words.
Nice job, Anty. Nice job. You've done well with that woman. All right, Sabba, you had a little end. I think we're there.
We're done. No, I'm not going to throw you under the bus, Harry. You're too nice about me. Great video, though. Hey, I just want to thank everyone so much for coming. I actually really enjoyed this. It was amazing, and I think we should do it again. So persuade Harry to let us do this again, and we'll get it done. Thank you, everyone.
Last thing is, the slides are going to be, if anyone wants Sabba's presentation or mine, we'll get the slides over to you. Once again, thanks so much for coming. And more importantly, everyone who submitted a video, you're playing, you're real players, you're making work, you're putting it out there. That is half the damn battle, is actually dropping a video in, filming it, and pressing and editing, finishing, pressing upload. So you should be proud. Like, everyone starts, no matter how we joked around with some critique. It's so damn hard to do this stuff.
Agreed.
So well done for actually getting out there. No one's first, second, third, fourth, 10th video is any good. So good job, everybody. Over and out. Have a wonderful day. Cheers, Sabba. Bye-bye.
See you, man.